Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Bix lives long after the jazz musicians leave, and water skiing for national honors in the cities. Bix Beiderbecke is a legendary figure in the world of music here in the cities. The Bix Jazz Festival just finished its 46th year of celebrating his music style. People make pilgrimages to his Oakdale Cemetery grave or pass by the old Beiderbecke family home. There's been honorary displays to him at the Putnam Museum and in other public spaces, but there's never been one central location for all things Bix until now. And it's in the heart of his hometown of Davenport. Joining us is Carol Schaefer and Howard Braron from the new Bix Beiderbecke Museum and Archive located in the River Music Experience in the basement area. You helped design the construction. Why is the basement a good location? I mean, you got a little bit of space there.
Yeah, actually, it's an excellent marriage, I think, between the RME, the music venue that is popular throughout the Quad Cities, well known, and Bix Beiderbecke, and in the lower level of the RME building, the former Peterson Harned von Maur building. It kind of, I think, portrays a little bit of the Prohibition era type music venue, some of those that were maybe not on the main streets of the world where the music was played and appreciated. Well,
and at RME, correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, was that there had been some Bix artifacts, or at least recognition of him. This goes a lot further than that.
Oh, yeah, quite in depth. I learned even myself, being a longtime Bix fan, of many things that were so important in his life and to our community that I didn't even know before. It's really, really well done.
Well, Howard, as president of this museum and archive, it's important to point that out as well. I mean, it has taken an awful lot just over the years, let's say over the last 50 years, just to find items of Bix's that have been lost in family collections, scattered all over the nation, if not the world.
Yes, we had to acquire two major collections. One we paid $135,000 for, the other $75,000. And then we've acquired some minor collections. And we think we now have the most complete collection of Bix memorabilia in extant. And it's all displayed, or pretty much displayed, at the Bix Museum on the lower level of the RME building at the corner of 2nd and Main in downtown Davenport.
When did this start working? When did you say, we got to have this, we need to do this?
Well, we had a group come in of Bix experts 12 years ago, and led by Randy Sankey. And we had a session over a weekend to determine whether it was appropriate to have a Bix museum in town. And they made a bunch of recommendations, which we tended to follow. We initially were going to have the museum in the Putnam Museum, as part of the Putnam.
Because the Putnam actually, as I said earlier, had displayed a number of items from Bix in the past.
Yeah, they have his cornet that he had, which is there in perpetuity, and some other items, but it's a fairly small display. And but nevertheless, we had planned to have space there, but that space ultimately needed to be used by the Putnam for traveling exhibits. So we decided to check out options, and we, thank God, we found a great marriage with the RME, which was getting going at the time, and they've allocated us 1,500 square feet on the lower level, and right next to their new offices.
Well, and let's be honest, the River Music Experience is supposed to be celebrating all of the music that's generated from this area, and it has to start with Bix.
You bet.
I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
It's a great come together,
right,
in the right place, in the right venue.
What did you want to do when you created this? I mean, a lot of times it's just chronological, but you really wanted to bring his life back to life.
Well, we employed Mr. Joe Hines, a designer that really put the exhibit together, and he did an outstanding job. All of us agree that he just did captured the heart and soul of Bix. from his boyhood to his death, and the family especially, and how he was such a important factor, not only in his family, but in his school and in his community and so forth. And so it's a much more beyond chronological technology. It really is. It's a very warm feeling you get going through the museum.
Let's be honest, these days it has to be more than just that, doesn't
Absolutely.
it? I mean, just the audience, the people, the visitors all expect a little more.
That's right. In fact, I think that's one of the things we hear from most people is that what loving family that Bix had and how supportive they were of him. Somewhat contrary to some of the past history that may have been out there.
Right.
So we try to add that part to his story.
Well, Howard, we're talking a little bit about the instruments that Bix was known for, because the cornet's huge, but I mean, he played the other instruments. I mean, didn't he play the drums? He played the piano.
Well, we have in this exhibit the really one and only piano that he really owned. This piano, which is a Wurlitzer, was in his apartment in Queens, New York, when he died in 1931. And a member of our board, Dr. Albert Haim, who runs the Bix website, Bixography.com, in Long Island, New York, he and another gentleman tracked this piano down through 5 or 6 different hands. It took about a year and a half. And they found it in the home of a young couple in Nassau County, Long Island, with 2 daughters who were learning to play the piano.
No idea what the history of it was.
They had no idea who Bix was. And so, but when they heard that this was a valuable instrument, the dollar signs went up.
Yeah.
And it took him two months to negotiate a price, which he personally paid for and had it shipped out here, and is now on permanent loan in the Bix Museum.
That's a good get.
You bet it's a good get.
But there's also other, I was looking, Phil and Linda Evans' Scott Black collection, because we're talking about the instruments, but they had some amazing personal memorabilia that's been donated.
Well, it was acquired. We had to pay $75,000.
Don't say donated.
$75,000 for that collection. That collection encompassed 46 boxes, which we have, and we've taken the most important pieces of that memorabilia, which Phil and Linda, they interviewed people who played with and knew Bix intimately, and we've taken parts of that and included that in our presentation. The rest will be in our archives, which we are working on right now to determine the proper location for those archives.
Well, this is going to sound like a dumb question, but your mission statement is to collect, preserve, and exhibit. Why is that important? And why is it important in Davenport?
Well, Bix is an icon worldwide. Let me explain. Dr. Haim runs a website, Bixography.com. On that website, he gets about 3,000 hits per week. That translates to about 200,000 hits a year. I said to Dr. Haim, where are these hits coming from? So he checked it out. They're coming from over 60 countries worldwide, only half from the United States, from such remote places as Tibet for 6 hits, and the Falkland Highlands off the coast of Argentina. For 3 hits, and on and on. So there is worldwide interest in Bix, and that was exhibited this weekend, where people who are attending the Bix Festival were coming from worldwide. The second couple to come into the museum were from Sweden. There were other persons from Italy, Germany, England, Wales, on and on, and from virtually every state in the Union. These were all Bix fans, came down to the museum.
Well, let's be honest, Carol, when you're talking about the Jazz Festival, you always hear that motto, Bix lives. It's that his music is still alive, thereby he's still alive. Is the museum furthering that?
Oh, I think it does, Jim. I really do. Even in my own case, family members that are maybe not quite as familiar with the Bix music and life that I was are acquiring kind of newfound interest. I really think that's important. Obviously, we're trying to, like everyone, kind of not only perpetuate the big story, but to bring new people into that so they can appreciate the big story too. And so that younger people who can either play instruments or enjoy music, the people who are going to have to carry on the legacy of Bix, we'd like to have them start to begin to learn about him.
Because it's such a, I mean, he didn't live that long. I mean, what was 26?
28 years.
28?
Yeah.
But to have such an impact even now on what would that be, maybe on the third generation now of jazz musicians, if not other musicians as well. Is there something in particular with the Bix Museum that you really hope people walk away with?
Well, they walk away with the tremendous talent that this young man had, and that has lived on through the generations now, and is more popular today than it was years ago. It has grown in popularity.
Do you think that the museum will as well? I mean, do you want this, because you have a limited space. I don't mean limited as in small, but limited as in you only have so much space. Is there a chance that this grows even more? Is this just the beginning?
This may be just the beginning. We'll see. We start with a little over 1,500 square feet. It's very well designed. There's an opportunity to listen to Bix music. It's playing as you enter, but there's also where you can put headsets on and listen to more Bix music. You can see the stage that he played with in Hudson Lake, Indiana, and where there is a life-size figure of Bix holding a cornet in his hand and ready to play.
Yeah, people are going to come away with a real feeling of his impact on music, and it should be in his hometown. How much does it cost? I mean, and this is for everybody, the families, everybody should be at this.
Yes, and you're talking about admission fee? Yeah, well, we have a three-tiered fee for members. Then those under 12 and 12 to 18 school people, altogether it's a very modest charge.
If I can mention, right now for the first month, there is no charge.
So I knew it was for the festival. It's for the whole month.
For the whole month.
So that's till early September, Labor Day. So.
Quad Cityans to come down to RME, corner of 2nd and Main, downtown Davenport, and we're open from 10 to 5 Monday through Friday, and from 10 to 2 on Saturday, and maybe even a little longer the first month.
And for a limited time, it's free, which makes it the perfect price.
You got it.
That's a great idea.
Right.
It is.
Howard Brer and Carol Schaefer, both from the Bix Beiderbecke Museum and Archive, which sounds fantastic, located, as you said, in the heart of Davenport. And before we get much further, let's hear a little jazz from a past Bix Jazz Festival performance. 2 years ago, Moline native Josh Duffy and his U.S.-Australian band called the Hot Jazz Alliance joined us in the studio to celebrate Bix. That's when we got to hear them play Milenberg Joys. The Hot Jazz Alliance with Milenburg Joys. Well, summer is starting to leave us, some kids already going to school, but Laura Adams is not giving up, finding great events for your family that you can enjoy throughout the month of August. So here's Laura, out and about.
This is Out and About for August 7th through 13th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. It's time for the Great River Tug Fest on the banks of the Mississippi River. Thursday is family night, Friday an amazing fireworks display, and Saturday the tug of war between Port Byron, Illinois and LeClaire, Iowa. You Make My Weekend turns 26 this year. Join the district in Rock Island on August 12th for great reggae music and Caribbean food. Hennepin Hoopla is coming to the Hennepin Canal Parkway State Park in Milan, Illinois on August 12th. It's free and great fun for the family with free fishing clinic. Or head on over to Bacon Fest at the Monmouth Public Square in Monmouth, Illinois on August 11th. It's all about bacon. Circa Italiana, a never-seen-before production combining acrobatics, dance, and more, is coming to South Park Mall under the big blue tent. The musical Sunset Boulevard, based on Billy Wilder's Academy Award-winning film, continues through the 12th at the Quad City Music Guild. Neil Simon's hilarious semi-autobiographical comedy Brighton Beach Memoirs takes over the Bruner Theater Center stage through the 12th, or join the Bootleggers and special guests each Thursday night in August for an entertaining look back at 40 years of live musical theater at Circa 21, and be in the audience for Circa's production of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers through the 16th. Plus, the Black Box Theater presents the rock jukebox musical Rock of Ages at the downtown Nolene Theater through the 19th. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. The Masters of the Rock River are also heading toward the end of the season, but that doesn't mean the year is over for the Backwater Gamblers water ski show team. In fact, some of their most important performances are still ahead. And joining us is Tegan Tipton, Backwater Gamblers show director. It's so good of you to join us. Oh, what a summer it's been. The Rock River has been no friend to you this year, has it?
No, it's been a pretty difficult season weather-wise.
What does that mean then? I mean, because you've got national championships that are coming up, just really right around the corner,
right.
And you've been kept off the Rock River because of the high water, the flooding, and all the other problems that come along with Mother Nature.
Yep, we just finishing up our third flood of the season after ice jams that hit us back in January, February. So we've had a lot of equipment damaged. But thankfully we were able to recover everything, get everything back in the water actually Monday, and start practicing again last night.
And then you're back on the water this week. I mean, people that are coming in on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
We have a show tonight, Wednesday, and then this weekend we actually go up to Loves Park for Nationals.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about...
We'll be off the water this weekend for our home
For a
crowd.
normal reason, yeah. So let's talk about the national championship.
Yep.
One performance you're getting on the Rock River before going up to
Correct.
Loves Park for the national championship. Does that put you at a big disadvantage?
Slightly, but I guess I wouldn't say this is a good thing, but a lot of other teams have been dealing with flooding as well. So a lot of other teams have been off the water. Two other teams that we're competing against are also on the Rock River, so they've had the same kind of issues this summer. So it is hard for us. We don't really have another site to practice at. A lot of other teams do. So we did what we could on land and practice our intros and our dances. So it hasn't been ideal, but we have to do what we can do, and that's about all we can do.
You've had a lot of top 5 finishes in the championships. I mean, what does it take to win? What does it take to advance to that point?
You know, if you find the secret to that, let me know, because we've never done it.
Well, but you've gotten within striking distance, and that's a huge accomplishment.
Yes, we got second back in 2014, very close to first. That's the best we've ever done in the 36 years we've been in existence, but haven't quite been able to crack that #1 yet. My 5-year-old gave me some advice the other day and told me that we need to do easier, carefuler, prettier, and handsomer acts. And then he also suggested that I go over the jump ramp, and that would put us up to #1. So.
Who do we hate? Who do we dislike? Who are the ones that keep doing so well?
I wouldn't say we hate anyone,
but your nemesis is
Rock Aquajays from Janesville, Wisconsin are typically up there pretty consistently in #1, #2 spot, and they're the only team in the country we've never beaten. So
is that so?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us a little bit about Backwater Gamblers. I mean, you're always looking for people to join.
Yes.
You're always looking for performers, but it's not that easy to do.
You know, it's not that difficult to do either. Surprisingly, taught a lot of people how to ski just this year already. So we are always looking for new members, and you don't have to just ski to be a member of our team. We have a lot of people that just help out behind the scenes with ropes, in boats, driving pickup boats, sound crew, announcing. So we have a lot of of availability in other positions to help out. But if people are interested in learning how to ski, we will teach how to ski. You don't have to know how to do flips off the ramp or anything like that.
Because I was looking at that. You have teaching moments called Access to Waves Adaptive Water. You also have a ski clinic that's coming up Saturday, August 19th.
Right, that's our adaptive ski day.
So tell me about that. Why is that so interesting? I mean, why is that important to you?
Oh, that's an amazing day. It's the most rewarding day we get all summer. We allow anyone with any kind of disability to come and we teach them how to ski. We have specially adaptive skis that are larger with what we call cages that they sit in. So we've had paraplegics, blind people, Down syndrome, a wide variety of disabilities, but we are able to give them an opportunity to do something that they think that they would never have been able to do, and that we can share a passion with them. And it's really amazing.
Because that is one of those things that you're really breaking down the barriers. I mean, people think that, I mean, they watch you, you guys are so good at what you do, and you think it's impossible to do.
Right. Yeah,
and this really kind of breaks down that barrier, doesn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just a great, I mean, going out with these people and seeing the smiles on their faces, and it's seriously, it's the best day of the summer.
And as we said, you've been off the water for the last few weeks because of the rock, but you have shows every Sunday and Wednesday through September 3rd, so there's still a number of performances, except for, of course, this weekend, but there's still a number of performances after that.
Yeah, we'll be, hopefully the rock will cooperate the rest of the summer, as it hasn't the beginning of the summer, but yeah, we have quite a few shows left. We'll still be putting them on as best we can for our crowds, and hoping to have a great audience in attendance and do some good skiing. So,
because we've always said that it's a great family entertainment.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a great idea to bring, you know, if your families are always looking for something to do.
Right. Yeah, and it's totally free. We ask for donations, and we operate solely off of sponsorships, donations, and advertisers. So, yeah, definitely families come on down and check us out, because the kids love it, of all ages will love it.
You're wrapping up the year. You had a special show coming up on Monday, September 4th. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we do a special performance on Labor Day. It's going to be the exact same show you normally see, but we'll just do an extra show on Labor Day, because people are off work, so definitely a good one to come to.
Does that pretty much close the season then?
That will be the end of our season, possibly. There is talk about adding a couple extra shows, because we did miss so many this season, but as of right now, not certain on that. If we do, we'll definitely advertise it on our Facebook page and our website.
Well, tell me about your members, because you got some very young members, some school-age members, of course, and then people who are getting up in the years. I mean, it's a wide range of ages.
Our youngest members are about 6 months old. So we've had about 15 children born onto the ski team in the last 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we just keep having people get married and new families coming in, and then they have children, and then we join the children, and then we teach them how to ski as soon as they can walk.
Our youngest, this figured out.
Yeah. Well, you know, you said we're getting some people getting older, so we gotta you know, replace them.
Bring in the next generation.
So our youngest skiers in the show are 5 years old. They ride on shoulders, do moves, and they've been doing that for 1 to 2 years already, a couple of them. And then our oldest skier actually is 60. And he still just turned 60 this summer, and he still can back barefoot, jump, center pyramids. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. He's in great shape, and he's a pretty awesome skier. And then we have people even older than that drive boats and help out in other ways.
Yeah, so. Because let's be honest, it's like a show. It's like theater. Right. You need people backstage. You need people doing a bunch of different things, and so that's really important to make your program a success.
Correct.
How do people get involved?
We have a membership form on our website, and then click on the join link. There's a membership form, and it'll explain how to join. So we would recommend that if someone wanted to join, they would come down and talk to us first, so we can explain what really goes into it and what we expect out of everyone, because it is a fairly large time commitment. We practice 2 days a week, shows 2 days a week, and then have other events going on, like our adaptive ski day and stuff that we like people to be there to help with. So it's a time commitment, but totally worth it.
But right now we have to give you all positive vibes. You do well at Nationals up at Loves Park, right?
Yes.
Loves Park. Congratulations.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to get back on the water, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good.
Tegan Tipton from Backwater Gamblers, thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it so much. Well, speaking of back to school, WQPT offers a number of different programs, services, and resources for teachers with children of all ages. PBS Learning Media offers tens of thousands of classroom-ready digital resources, including videos, games, lesson plans, and more. The high-quality content is tied to Common Core and other national curriculum standards, plus it's free to educators. You can learn more by going to our website, WQPT.org. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the Cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.